Our workbooks, and today we are going over the 4 types of sentences. So we have dealt with the 4 types of sentences all this week and some last week. Okay, so we went over declarative and interrogative on Friday, and yesterday we went imperative and exclamatory. Today we are just doing a review of all 4. Okay, so look up at your little yellow information box at the top. A declarative sentence is a sentence that gives information and it ends in a period. Okay, page 8, right? Page 7, sorry. Page 7. Sorry, page 7. Page 8 is the one you're going to turn in. Go to page 7. All right. So, then we have our interrogative sentences, and it asks a question and it ends with a question mark. What is your dog's name? That's a question. An imperative sentence is a command or request. The person doing the action is always understood to be you, and it ends with a period. Sometimes it can be an exclamation mark, right? So, kind of like if you are ever at a sport, like a sporting event, like a basketball game, and you're you want them to like shoot the basket or something. You're like, shoot the basket, then shoot the ball. That's going to be a command, but it's excited, right? Makes sense? And then an exclamatory sentence shows an excitement or surprise, and it ends with an exclamation point. Any questions on our review? Y'all remember it? Okay. So, today we have the option of all 4 sentences when we do our paper. Put that away. So, for our guided practice, it says use the codes to label each sentence. Add the correct ending punctuation. So, there are 2 parts. You need to put the code and the punctuation. Okay? Number 1, when does the program start? What kind of sentence is this? Bella?
It's an interrogative.
Interrogative. It is asking a question. So you need to put INT on the line. INT. What end mark do we use? Mary? A question mark. Number 2, the orchestra warms up first. What kind of sentence is this? Keegan? Not quite. Boyleon? Declarative. It's just a statement. It's just a regular sentence. The orchestra warms up first. So what kind of end mark do we use, Samara? For number 2. It's declarative, so what end mark do we use? A period. Number 3. Where is the conductor? What kind of sentence is this? Joseph? Interrogative. It is a question. Okay? Interrogative. So, what kind of end mark do we use for this one, Mary? A question mark. Number 3 is interrogative with a question mark. Now, number 4. Watch the musicians tune their instruments. What kind of sentence is this, Ben? It is just a sentence, but what kind of sentence is it? It says, watch the musicians tune their instruments. Yep, imperative, right? It's a command. Imperative. So what kind of end mark do we need, Sweet? Period. Good. What? Well, that one I don't think is as excited. Does that make sense? All right, number 5. Boy, Leon, we got good tickets. What kind of sentence is that?
Declarative.
Declarative. So what kind of end mark do we use, Keegan? If it's declarative, what kind of end mark do we use? You can look up at our chart too. If it's declarative, what end mark do we use?
Period.
A period. Good. Sarah, the program was wonderful. What kind of sentence is that?
Exclamatory.
Exclamatory. So what end mark are we using, Joseph?
Exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark. Good job. Do those make sense? Couple of them you have to be careful with. They can get a little tricky. Now look at the instructions for our next part. It says, rewrite the declarative sentences as an interrogative sentence. So they want you to take just a statement and make it into a question. Okay? So it says, we are going to the campground on Friday. How can I make that into a question, Bella?
You can say, can I come?
So you can say, can we go to the campground on Friday? Or you can say what?
What time are you going to the campground on Friday?
Okay? Another good way to say it is just say, are we going to the campground on Friday? They just changed we are to are we, right? So they said, we are going to the campground on Friday. Now they said, are we going to the campground on Friday? So all they did was switch those first 2 words, right? It worked out for this sentence. So rewrite your sentence. Rewrite your sentence. Are we going to the campground on Friday? So you're taking the sentence that they gave you and making it into a question. Okay? Are we going to the campground on Friday with what kind of end mark?
A question mark.
A question mark. Good. Okay, for number 8, we are going to take the question and make it into a declarative sentence. Okay? So it says, have they packed the tent? How can we change just a couple words to make it into just a statement? Have they packed the tent? Mary?
They have.
Good. They have packed the tent. We just had to change a couple of orders, right? Does that make sense? Let me see your bobbleheads. Yes or no?
Yes.
Does it make sense? No? So all we did was that we said, have they packed the tent? That's a question, right? Is that a question? Have we packed the tent? That's a question. So now they said they have packed the tent. That's a statement, right? That's saying, yes, they did it. So we changed an interrogative into a declarative. Okay? When that's done, flip it over and now look at page 8. Yes, Ben.
I know something about all the punctuations that they all have a dot.
Yes, they do. They all have a dot, don't they? Because they're showing the end. But when you add the little hook, it makes it a question. When you add just the line, it makes it excited, right? It's kind of interesting. Good observation. All right, so when we're all looking at number 8, for the first 5 questions, you're doing these on your own, okay? You are doing this page on your own and turning it in, so make sure your name is on the back on page 8. So for 1 through 5, you are putting the code and the end mark. Okay, you are saying what kind of sentence it is and putting the correct end mark. Then, just go ahead and flip it over and look with us, okay? All right, then for 6 through 9, you are going to be rewriting the sentence by just making the first word capital and adding the correct end mark. That's it on that, okay? For number 10, you're going to take the question, the interrogative sentence, and make it into a statement. Okay? Now, we are doing the apply and write. Write 4 sentences about playing a game. Use the 4 types of sentences. So, if I wanted to write one about say baseball, I could say, have you played baseball before? That's an interrogative, right? We can say, anyone can try. Get a baseball bat, a baseball, and a few friends. That's my command. It can be lots of fun. That could be my exclamatory. That was 4 sentences, and I did all 4 types, right? Does that make sense? It can be about any game, a card game, a board game, a field game, anything. All right? Any questions? All right, you are going to write your name on page 8, turn it into the tray. If you are at home, write your name on page 8, take a picture, and submit it on Google Classroom, and just leave it in your book. And we'll see you all when you get back. Thanks.